This lesson is find LU factorization with a 4x4 matrix. So 4 rows and 4 columns. So 4x4. I'm going to rewrite this here. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the original problem here. Next, we need to get this -1, +4, -2, so that it becomes 0, 0, 0. Okay, so opposite of -1, +1. Opposite of 4, -4. Opposite of -2, +2. So 1 times R1 plus R2, 4 times R1 plus R3, 2 times R1 plus R4. Okay, so 1 times 1 gives me +1, subtract 1 gives me this 0. 1 times 3 will be 3, 3 subtract 5 will give me this -2. 1 times -5 is -5, plus 8 gives me this 3. 1 times 3, -3 will be -3. 1 times -3 is -3, plus 4 gives me this 1. Okay, repeat the process for row 3 and also row 4. So -4 times 1 is -4, plus 4 gives me 0. -4 times 3 is -12. -12 plus 2 gives me this -10. -4 times -5 gives me +20. 20 subtract 5 will give me this 15. -4 times -3 gives me +12. 12 subtract 7 gives me this 5. Okay, last row, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 subtract 2 will give me this 0. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 subtract 4 gives me this 2. 2 times -5 will be -10. -10 plus 7 gives me -3. 2 times -3 will be -6. -6 plus 5 gives me this -1. Okay, next we need this 2 right here to be a 0. So we need this -10 and this +2 to be a 0, 0. Okay, so 0, 0 right here. Okay, so we need this -10, this 2 to be 0 here and here. Okay, so to get that 0, we need to multiply by -5. To get this 0, we just need to multiply by +1. Okay, so -5 times R2 plus R3. So -5 times -2, +10. 10 subtract 10 gives me this 0. -5 times 3 will give me -15. -15 plus 15 gives me this 0. -5 times 1 is -5. -5 plus 5 gives me this 0. Okay. Now repeat that same process for the last row. So we need this to become a 0. So we just multiply by a 1. So R1, 1 times R2 plus R4. So 1 times -2 is -2, plus 2 gives me this 0. 1 times 3 will be +3. 3 subtract 3 will give me this 0. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 subtract 1 is this 0. Okay, and as you can see, this is already a 0, so there's nothing else to do. Okay, again, we can stop here because there's nothing else to calculate to make them 0. Okay, so we can stop here. All right, next, this right here where I am going around, right here where I am going around, this is our upper matrix, upper triangle matrix. Okay, so which I have down here. Okay, again, the reason why we stop making zeros, okay, stop calculating, because there's nothing else to calculate. Okay, so we can stop here. Again, this right here is our upper triangle matrix, which I have down here. Okay, next we need to find the lower triangle. So bring down the first column, which is here. Okay, bring down the first column, which is here. Next, we will bring this second column, just these 3 numbers for our second column, which is here. However, here I have a 0, 0. Since there's a 0, 0 here, this is considered a free space. So since it is a free space, we'll just put 1, 1. And I hope you remember about free space. In the other example, in the past example, when I have free space, I'll just put 1, 1. Okay, so here we go. So we want a 1, which we already have, but just for the fun of it, we'll just divide by 1 so you can see that it's divided. So 1 divided by 1 is 1. Negative 1 divided by 1 is negative 1. 4 divided by 1 is 4. Negative 2 divided by 1 is negative 2. Okay, we want this right here to be positive 1, so divide by negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2, positive 1. Negative 10 divided by negative 2, positive 5. 2 divided by negative 2 gives me negative 1. And here there's nothing to do because we have free space, and we have, because this is a 0, that's considered free space, and because it's a free space, we'll just write 1, 1. Okay, so now this right here is our lower triangle matrix. Okay, this right here is our lower triangle matrix. All these empty spaces, we'll just put 0 all around them. Okay, so this is our answer for the upper triangle matrix, and this is the lower triangle matrix of a 4x4.